Hello, everyone. So we are happy to be your host with my colleague Claudia for this webinar about acceleration, compliance, and innovation in life science with business process management. So for the agenda today, we will go through, so first we are going to introduce ourselves. Claudia, can you go to the next slide? And can you introduce yourself, Claudia?
Yes, so my name is Claudia Greyfrath. I'm industry process consultant, senior for life science, healthcare, and high-tech industries. And I help the prospects and customer to identify, let's say, the processes and to find the best solution to be more effective in the daily work using the 3D experience platform. And I'm now 8 years at Dassault Systèmes and about 20 years in the, let's say, in the industry experience.
Thank you, Claudia. And I'm Stéphanie Balm. So I have 16 years of experience in a pharmaceutical company. I worked on different positions on program portfolio management. I manage also some strategic and operational transformation. I worked a lot on business process from R&D to manufacturing on about product withdrawal, but also product changes and on international product launch. And now I am working with Dassault Systèmes. I support the life science and healthcare clients in their transformation of their businesses with our 3DS experience platform, using all the knowledge that I can have on life science environment and business processes. So we are happy to be there today. This is the agenda that we want to go through during this next hour. So first, we will start by the objectives of the life science company to really focus on the key objectives that we wanted to highlight. Then we will see how smarter automated data-driven workflow can help to achieve these objectives. And then Claudia will do a live demo to show you the solution in action. And then we will have a conclusion and we will have a session on a Q&A for all the questions you may have. So let's start by the objectives of the life science companies. So here are the 5 key objectives that we wanted to share with you. So what we can see today in life science company is that there is a big objectives related to innovation, moving toward precision health. So here we are speaking about really how can I innovate faster. The second objective is all about acceleration, time to market. Not only on the research and development part, but really from development to the commercial launch. So here are some KPIs that we can find is that what we can see in a life science company is that the objective is really to cut the time for the clinical trial execution by 50%. But we can also see that a lot of life science companies try to decrease the time to market from development to launch from 8 years to 3 years. The third objective is about commercial execution. So here it's more about how can I reduce the time between the launch and the peak sales through excellence in commercial execution. The fourth objective is about operational efficiency. So the objectives of the life science company is really to increase operational efficiency, but all this in a context of quality, which needs to be always uncompromised and achieved. So this is all about productivity, R&D, manufacturing productivity, performance, but it is also about reduction of cost of goods. And then the last objective that we can see in a lot of life science company mission is about sustainability. So really to put the sustainability also at the core of the mission of the company. So it can be for the company global sustainability, but sustainability can also be all along the development and the industrialization of the product by reducing the footprint when we are making a new bioprocess, for example. So now, next slide. Life science company needs to consider that to achieve these objectives, it is really key to connect people who are working in a different way. Here we see science, engineering, quality, but there is also a lot of other departments, as for example, marketing, packaging. They don't have at their level the same objectives, and they don't have the same time frame. Nevertheless, as we have seen in the slide before, they need to be connected because they have a common goal. Next slide. Today, we can see that the processes are mostly disconnected. There is a lack of visibility related to the activities of these different departments, but there is also silos in the data or in the process, and processes are also very manual and not always scalable. This leads to a waste of time and a lack of process follow-up. And we know that in life science company, both of these elements, time and process follow-up, are key in the context of new product, but also in terms of change management. It is then essential to move from disconnected process approach to a really data-driven, process-oriented approach in order to speed up the time to market, to reduce the risk, but also to improve the compliance. Next slide. So now, moving on the automated data-driven workflow, we are going to first see what is a business process. So basically, it's really task activities which are done by people or system. These tasks or activities can be done in sequence, one after the others, but can also be parallelized to gain time. These tasks and activities generate deliverables, which are data or document. Next slide. We are convinced that to accelerate innovation and compliance, the life science company need to change their way of working. They need to compile an agile business process workflow, which needs to be connected to data which can come from everywhere, and putting all this in connection, multiple users which can be internal, but also external. Next slide. So what does it look like in action? We can provide a package of process out of the box to start working very quickly with the system. But of course, you can also adapt if you need some business process for your specific needs. All this is GXP compliant. And my colleague will show you later in this presentation through the demo how you can use this out-of-the-box business process, but also the specific business process that you can build considering your specific needs. So what does that mean for your team? How does it relate to the global objectives that we have seen at the beginning? So first, it's all about improving compliance and risk management, because you will be able to leverage regulatory and quality requirements to accelerate the identification of potential risk, but also because there is this connection between business process and data, you will enable data-driven decision because you will have all in front of you at the right time to take decision. Second point is a cost reduction. You will be able, thanks to this business process management connected to the data, to focus your users on the added value task. They will create really value for the company, not duplicating activities, not trying to search data in different systems, in different documents, in different Excel files. You will also reduce costly resources validation loop, ensuring a right first time. So basically avoiding to always go back and redoing the same thing the same thing because you don't have enough control about the business process management. And the last point is about operational efficiency. Again, here, the purpose is really to eliminate redundancy, non-value added activities, but also to promote collaboration. As we have seen at the beginning, it's a way to make the teams collaborating together, one to the other, even if they don't have the same objectives or the same time frame. And the last point is to gain time, because thanks to this business process out of the box, you will be able to start quickly your business process. You will have access directly to the data coming from other systems. You will be able to communicate internally and externally. So at the end of the day, the purpose is really to reduce the time of execution of this business process. So now I will leave the floor to Claudia, who will show you the live demo in order to illustrate this business process management approach.
Yeah, so thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, we have a lot of, let's say, out of the box predefined processes here for life science, biopharma, and medical device. And we choose, let's say, because all these processes are very deep dive and has a lot of tasks and many, let's say, groups of involved users are let's say, initialize these process. So here just to show you, but we will go through the live demo. So this is one example of a quality event that we choose to show you how react, yeah, let's say the different QMS user, QMS event triage up to finish. And so we can start. And first of all, what I want, because Stephanie went very good through the presentation, so we have a quite good time to go in the details. So this is what out of the box we can offer from the process model. So you can see we have documented unexpected events, deviations, quality compliance, corrective, preventive actions, and process change and audits. And this is what we want to mention here also, because we are here on a user or execute side. So that means I will show you later on how these processes, let's say, get in here and how the users who are involved, maybe I can switch now here to the user groups just to show you that we can define different users here for the process, because it's important who are involved in this process. So for example, for QMS analysts, or it could be a supervisor and so on. So someone who is the high level person from this process to define, it could be an audit trail team, needs to decide who is involved and who can do something. So for example, if we go to the responsibilities, you see it could be a viewer, it could be also a manager or an owner. Yeah. So, and any kind of this responsible person has a different view, let's say, and can just see the involved task where he is assigned to. So, but we will go through the process maybe here for the quality event. So just to mention here, so it is, yes, it's a lot of GXP, of course, compliance from customer experience processes that can be used directly. So you see the process here. And as an example, we will start the process here. And for example, so we need to fill in data. So as I am now the presenter and initiator of a process, so please do not be, let's say, confused. But of course, there are different people involved in this process. So we can set the date of occurrence. For example, we can take this one. Here, we need to choose the department, for example, and we can give a description. Of course, we can give a picture, we can give, yeah, let's say more details if we want. And all these things are mandatory or not. Yeah, this is, we can also file or choose an attaching file here. And we can also define if this information is defined yes or no. If no, so the process is defined, then we will say yes, everything is included, and we can now start the process. So we report a new quality. So as mentioned by Stephanie, everyone who is involved, and yeah, I need to mention every time that, of course, I'm the only one person who now drive through the process. So everyone can get an email and notification, sorry, of course, also email. And can directly navigate to the process itself. Here we are on a task side. So what is coming up? Let's say it's now we are in the event triage. So everything what we put in, and yes, of course, I'm the person, I start the process. We have event number. I will show you after that, that everything is, let's say, stored as a history for audit trail. Who did what, which description, and so on. But let's say we have now the next steps and we can decide, okay, for the triage decision, we can have a deviation, we can make a change control. For this example, let's say we have a kappa here. So we can have and give a comment here. The triage user, of course, it could be me or myself, but of course, you see everyone who will be involved in this process and is allowed to do this can be choose or selected here. Then if I am really the initiator of a process, yeah or no. If no, of course, then you need to select a different one person, and then we can finish the task. Then it is going, just display the process where we are, because now we created a kappa number, yeah. We can display maybe the process where we are. So we started here, we are now here, and we go to the different other steps. So to get information about related deviation, supervisor review, and so on. So based on those, what we want to, let's say, to select here, it will be changed. Go back because of reject or approve, okay, then we go forward and so on. So you see the description is already in. Is this kappa related to deviation? Yes, no. And we can go through the initial classification. So we can select on which critical classification we are. It is major, it is critical, or it is minor. And we have the product impacted. So it means we are not just talking about, let's say, providing and sending, let's say, task from one to the others. No, it is also about the product. Yeah, so we can really select the product here. where we want, for example, that is affected. Yeah. Then we can select the supervisor, of course, once more. I'm now the, let's say, the initiator of the process to show you, because otherwise we need to have a lot of people and groups. But however, it could be, of course, another person here who be selected as the supervisor. And we have a completion date that we can set here and then send for the supervisor review. Now, what we can show here, because let me show you my email. So it is also possible that, let's say, the supervisor gets a task and can directly access to the task and is directly involved, let's say, about the information, what happens before. Yeah, the kappa started, what is going on, what is the, let's say, the classification, which product is impacted. And of course, the supervisor can make now a decision, for example, improvement, without draw or reject. Let's say we have a proof. So if we have a proof, then we need to fill in all other mandatory fields here. If we go to the without draw, we just, let's say, need to give a comment here. I just put it here because of less of time, maybe the same comment. And of course, we can select now a different one person who is responsible for the QA. So of course, it could be a different one person. And we can define and set, how many days so we achieve or we expect for the approval. Let's say it's 1 day, yeah, and we can finish the task. So, and you see, if we go now to the next task, so we send in further just to display the process where we are. So we are now here under the supervisor review. So we need to have these then escalation email and so on. So you see there are many steps to do here. So we can approve, for example, we can, but it's not mandatory to have a comment here, and we can finish the task. So let's go here. Let me check. I just want to, sorry. So this is completed now. Also this the supervisor review. Now you have seen, so the process, I do not want to go to the different other steps, because the question is now, we have seen these different processes, but where come these processes from? So I need to show and demonstrate the process quality process overview. So this is a different one view for, let's say, dedicated person who are aware of these business processes. So who needs maybe to have a quality metrics here. For example, for the biopharma, of course, just to mention, we are not just talking for biopharma and life science and medical device. We have also out-of-the-box processes for other industries. But if we have a look, for example, to the quality event, so we can jump in. So this is out of the box, let's say, analytics view, that we can check how many, let's say, triage decision we did, yeah, non-conformance for quality compliance, for change control without draw and kappa, for example. So whatever you start and record the process here, you can have a look how it looks like. This is out of the box. You cannot change it, of course. You can export the data, for example. But if you want, let's say, to have a dedicated analytics, then we can also make different dashboards, individual dashboards for each user, to, let's say, analyze all this data that we want to improve, we want to check, to have a good overview about what's going on and what is to do. If we go to the records, so everything what we did now, you see these are the records. So everything what is in progress, so not completed at the moment, but completed here. So this is what we created here. So if we go to the properties, so who is the initiator, the duration, and so on. Of course, we can go also directly to the properties, to the history, because it's important to have a look who did what. So for the audit trail, who were involved as an actor, which role, and so on. Of course, if we have impacted items, because it's part of our platform, not just to start processes and complete processes. No, every information will be stored here in the platform. So of course it is, let's say, impacted items, for example, a product. Yeah. And then we can see here, let's say, the members who are acting in this process. So it's an initiator, of course, the owner of this process, a supervisor, and a QA. And maybe I will show you in a few minutes. We have similar records at the moment, no. And we have these related records because we can have a look to, let's say, which records are embedded or related, for example, for this, process. So we can have a look here. And of course, at the end, we generate a process, a report for the kappa process. Of course, everything what we put in. So we have for the audit trail, of course, the document, when started, who started this process, and everything what we, let's say, add as an information will be stored here in the report automatically. And yeah, of course, we can then share, for example, this document. Then I just want to show you how it looks like. So you have seen, let's say, a lot of out-of-the-box processes. So these processes are not, let's say, at the end of the day. So we are developing with customers GXP compliance, let's say, experience. And so after each, let's say, update, we can expand here different packages. So, and this is someone who needs really to take care of it. So it's really a business, let's say, business process designer who takes care of it. It's not the user. But here you see the registration history. You see, for example, the different process keys. They are now at the moment executed here. And of course, you can see the different user groups. Yeah. So someone who takes care of these registration packages, let's say register the package, and then the next step is, of course, then to update, this package, and then for all involved user, these packages are then visible here. And of course, it depends of the different user and members who are in this processes involved. They are allowed then to see all these deployed processes here. So this is, let's say, predefined processes. But of course, you want to be flexible. So you can't reuse it, but maybe your process is a different one, and maybe you are interested in another process because you want to manage, let's say, the artwork process. So what we can do, I just want to show you that if we move here, so of course we are able to create individual processes. So I want just to show you, because this what you have seen is an, let's say, exchange between internal people, internal members, audit trail groups, and so on. But of course, we need to exchange, for example, data, information, documents, whatever, with external. So, and we prepared here an artwork process, just as an example to give you an idea that everything is possible. So, because for artwork process, it is important, not everything needs and will not be done, let's say, internal. So something needs to be go to external to rework, for example, the label, let's say the label of a product. So we need to exchange with external. Or another example is how we can exchange with supplier. It's the same thing, yeah. So you need to send files and you need to go back, but you don't need to send it via mail because you have no control. So what you can do here is really to have a good process and the different tasks and steps to be under control. So let's say what we want to do is we have let's say a sticker labeling, so a document that needs to be reworked because it depends on the country, and the country label needs to be reworked, and we do not want to do it by ourselves. So this is a job that needs to be done to the design agency, to external. So what we can do is we can send out a PDF file, it could be a Word, whatever. And of course, this document is, of course, related to a product because it's a sticker product where this document is related in. Of course, we can also add a product here. And then we can give a comment, of course. So please rework, let's say, design file. However, we need to choose the agency, and we can start the process here. Sorry, of course, it's me, yeah, but it's external. So, and we can then start the process. So what happens now? I need to show you my email just to show you, because the external gets this email. So that means this person, this external group or whatever people of external do not need have any access to your platform or to your, let's say, environment, to your data, just access to the task. Then it is opening, let's say, an field to form in, what we called. This dedicated sticker that we added before can be downloaded. Yeah, we can review it. We can have a look to it, let's say, and have a look. Okay, this is something what needs to be reworked. And after, let's say, reviewing these old things, then the external can send out a new version, select a new version, and send it back, let's say, yeah, to the artwork, let's say, department. So please find the new version, for example. Yeah, however. And then this task is finished. So what happens if you go here to the task? Now this task is coming back. So this is the new from agency, the final art. So then we can have a look to the new, let's say, version. We can review it. And then, of course, it's just an example. But we can validate then this final art, yes or no. Let's say we want to validate, yeah, and we finish the task. So just to show where we are on the process. So we send then this validation. And now we have a review through all these three, let's say, review steps. So first, marketing needs to review, then the legal and regulatory affair, for example. But what happens, for example, if we say, no, this is reworked, okay, it's version 1, but however, it is not really finally, so we want not to validate. So what we can do here is we say, no, it needs to come back because something is not clear. And now I just want to show you that, of course, let me remove here. And of course, we can make annotation. Now my annotation is, but however, I can open it just to show you. So it's a markup. Just to show you how, for example, the marketing can open now, let's say, the sticker is also powerful, let's say, because we have a search, a 3D search that we can have a look, for example, to a dedicated sticker where we cannot see at the moment. So we created here, let's say, a comment. It could be a redlining, could be whatever. So we give, let's say, a comment here in the markup, so that this content, let's say, or this piece of text needs to be reworked, or the label or whatever, here the barcode. And then what we can do is, then we can say, okay, please see the comment, let's say, because we put it in. Based on comment, yeah. And we can choose then the file. And and it is labeling documents, it's marketing, and this is the sticker labeling with a markup for sticker. Yeah. So maybe we can have a look just to show you that this is really the markup that we done before here in the platform. And then we can send directly to the agency, and we do not need to choose the agency, because here it's clear it was the agency one that reworked before all this information. And then it is going then to the agency and all the process started again. And then if everything is, let's say, in a good way, I do not want to go to the process, but of course it could be that the legal has a different one review and different comments and maybe corrections. Yeah, so it is normal and usual that this process will start, let's say, go back to the external design agency, rework, and yeah, until, let's say, complete then this process, if everything is then fine. So just to show you how it looks like. And of course, everything what we put in will be also displayed here as the information. So I hope I do not forget anything, maybe just one thing, and go to the monitoring, because of course everything what we do here. Of course, this is the kappa that we created here today in the webinar. So we have a general information. So everything is included here. It doesn't matter if it's the out-of-the-box predefined package, process package, or it is this individual process. So all details are here stored in. Who did what? You already have seen that we started already as in a report, as a document. But of course, we can have a look to all the details, and can yeah, let's say, can have a look to all these things that we add in. Maybe we can also restart the process. We can stop the process because of let's say, an issue or whatever. So everything is possible here. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, also on the history tab, maybe if we go to the artwork process that I presented here, we can also review the final art. So you can really go to each step and have a look to all these details here. So it is a little bit, so 111 task to see. And yeah. Yeah, for example, that so on each task, you can see, so this is, for example, on this review of the final art, we can see everything, what is the input and output, for example. And yeah, of course, someone has a detail about the status. As I mentioned before, we can have different analytics dashboards that, let's say, visualize everything, what is oncoming, upcoming, due date, and so on. So everything can be initialized then also in a dedicated view.
Thank you, Claudia.
Yeah.
So Thanks for the demo. And moving on the conclusion, I think that what we wanted for you to show, to see today, based on the demo, is that through the platform, through one platform, you are able to manage business process. So this business process can be either out of the box, meaning that you can start very quickly this business process workflow, or you can also design the one you need as you wish. But another point which is really key is that this business process workflow is connected to the data. Data which can be in the platform. So if you are managing the product data in the platform, you can have access to them. But we know that you are already living with a global ecosystem. And so this platform is also fully integrated in the global ecosystem, and because of its openness. And so you can also get this data from other system third party, as for example, an ERP, an DMS, a LIMS, QC, quality, and so on. So this is really a way to accelerate all your business process management, all your workflow, because you have a direct access to all the elements that you need when you have to manage a task. And I think that, and another point that I wanted to highlight is the openness to external. So what is also really key is that this business process workflow is for internal people, but as showed by Claudia, if you have, and you probably have a lot of workflow with external people as, for example, supplier, agency for artwork, and other type of external people, CDMO, for example, you can indeed send tasks without them having any licenses on the platform, but you are sure that they will have access to the tasks they have to do and to the document data that you have also included in the task. So it really allows this agility and this acceleration in terms of time to market. And I think that we are at the end of the presentation. So now is the time for the Q&A. If there is any question. Should we have a look, Claudia, on the chat, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, first question, how long does it usually take to implement the solution or bring a new customer online and operative? Okay, so let's say it is user-friendly first of all, but everything what you need, let's say an environment, you need a role, a dedicated role, maybe I can show here. So for example, for the process designer who really is involved in the process itself, then you need a dedicated role. You need access to, let's say, a cloud environment. It could be public, it could be private cloud, for example, and you need a 2-day training and then you're online. So it's not a big deal. You need to add something, Stephanie?
No, I think that's good.
Dassault Systèmes offers a lot of software for the process in biopharma and life science industry. Are there any prerequisites necessary? No, there are no prerequisites necessary because, as I mentioned, you need just, let's say, the access to the platform, and yeah, if you get the role, then you can use it here directly. You can create your own dashboard, of course, yeah, because everyone has a different view of the data and information, and then you can directly play with it. Yeah.
So there is not a lot of rules that you need in order to
Yeah.
activate business process management, just the role you need. This is it can be very quick, and it really depends on what you want to achieve, your goal, and what is the business process that you want to tackle.
Yeah. So if you are, let's say, a user who is involved in, you have a different view and you have a different role, then you have nothing to do with, let's say, the other role who for the process designer, let's say, the administrator who really deployed then the process, and then this, if the process is deployed, then the let's say the user who is involved in the process can see it here directly. Otherwise, he can't. And that's it. Yeah. So we are just differentiate between high level, let's say, administrator or high level responsible person who takes care of these processes, and the other are the users who are just involved in the process. Yeah, that's it. Okay, then one question, yeah, maybe we mentioned already, question on integration and data integrity. Of course, via API, we can connect to, let's say, to third-party tools. So we have, let's say, a lot of customer who are managing also processes between, let's say, ERP systems, for example, MES systems, or it could be CRM, whatever. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's just, let's say, API configuration between here business process management, so our platform, and then what you want exactly to exchange, which information, which data. And then we can configure it, of course, also. And yes, of course, a collaboration with external, maybe, yeah, it's what we also mentioned with partners. It could be, of course, supplier, because you, what we demonstrate today is that we send, let's say, files between external and let's say our solution here, but it could be also an XML file, yeah. So data that we extract here from our 3D experience platform to external, to supplier, to review and then to upload here. So it is also possible. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we have a last question about flexibility.
Process change, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, of course, process change. So, this is just an extract from what you can do. Yeah, there are customers who are managing change management, let's say change process management here also in the platform. It could be automatically be done, yeah, that the different steps, because they are predefined by rule. You need to be aware what and which department is involved and so on. So there are also different reviews. And this is let's say, very individually. Of course, we can track it here also. So the whole change management request, let's say you want to do it by a very, let's say, 4I principle through a change action or through a change request or change order, whatever. So we have, maybe I can show here. We have some services. So everything what you see here, they are predefined services. For example, that you start change process directly from here. So you do not need to customize or configure anything because it is directly connected, of course, to the platform. So it is not a standalone, let's say, solution what we presented today. It's really embedded in the platform. And of course, everything what you want to use here, yeah, this is what we can create here. Yeah, for example, get change action attributes or create a change request automatically by a service, not to configure anything. Yeah. So both ways are possible. Okay, let me, oh, okay. Okay, our process frankly involve external partner, CRO. How does your platform facilitate secure control with this? Okay. Yeah. So yes, we have a security context, let's say. So I'm not a security, let's say, guy. But of course, yes, it is embedded here. I cannot show you how and but we have a lot of security context, let's say slides. Yeah, this is of course also secured.
And we define to which people you want to grant access. So if you are working with a partner, you are not giving access to all the people working in this partner, but really the one with whom you are collaborating.
Yeah, so the same is because we are running of time, but so if you are interested in, because I can see one question, how does your system ensure seamless integration with existing core system, LIMS, ERP? If we could show an example. Yes, we can do, let's say, the best is you can define, let's say, or explain your process because everything what we demonstrated here is just an example. It could be everything. It maybe matched not everything what you expect. It is just, let's say an ideation or an idea how we can do it. But yes, of course, we can also configure something, let's say, and adapt to your needs. Yeah. Yeah. So if you are interested in, so we can have also deep dive sessions. It is just an overview to give you a little bit of an imagination what we can do here. And it's really just an extract. So everything we can adapt. Yeah, of course.
So if you want to deep dive on some specific topic or business process related to your business, your specific pain points, do not hesitate to reach us.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to answer your question.